Ueye Imana. Mr. John Bosco Mugiraneza, who is the CEO of the Rwanda Energy Group, which is the utility that is buying this power. JC, who is the head of the Goza Shalom Youth Village, which we'll see down here. And we are in the presence of two Nobel Peace Prize nominees, Bono, as well as Gigawatt Global. Both are nominated for Peace Prize. Okay. Thank you all for being here. I want to give just a 1-minute brief overview of Rwanda's energy sector, and then I want to turn it over to our Gigawatt Global partners to talk about the site. And we also have Mr. Twa, who is on site as the site manager, to give a quick safety briefing, so I'll let you do that. Go ahead.
You are welcome on site. I would like to give you a brief site induction. Please be aware that we are currently generating electricity. There's quite a lot of power coming out from these panels, and we would like to ask you to treat everything as live. Please don't touch anything. Don't walk into the arrays. As we will be walking into the park, please stay on the road. So for any question, please address your question to us. We will be willing to respond to your question. This non-smoking area, in case of emergency, we will rush back to this area. So I hope we will enjoy to be with us here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so just real quickly, you are looking at about 5% of the electricity generation of this country. 23% of the country has access to electricity right now through 160 megawatts of generation. Our Rwandan partners have a goal to boost that dramatically, almost quadruple, to 563 megawatts of generation by July 2018, which would provide access to 70% of the country. So you're seeing an important piece of that here. Now, how is Rwanda trying to build up their generation? They're throwing everything at it, from peat, hydro, mini hydro, solar projects like this, off-grid technologies, anything they can get a hand on, with an emphasis on renewable green energies where possible. We at the U.S. Embassy, working as a sort of partnership between USAID and other agencies, are working together through Power Africa to help get these types of deals going. There was an OPIC piece here, and our partners from Gigawatt Global will talk about that a little bit more. But I just want to give you a sense of what you're looking at here in Rwanda. And I'll turn to Yosef Abramowitz, and also Chaim Motzen, who are the co-founders of Gigawatt Global, to describe this site. We're going to take a small tour just down to the end of this panel road, where we'll take a picture, and then we'll come back.
Okay. Thank you very much. In the interest of time, I'll protocol observe. Other than, and I can't resist, I am a one.org activist and member. I lobby my members of Congress and sign every petition that you guys put up. So thank you. We're going to do this.
How many shows of the YouTube?
Prerequisite. I actually want to talk about I think we need an anthem. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Okay, so welcome to the birthplace of the utility scale solar revolution in sub-Sahara Africa. My name is Yosef Abramowitz. I'm president of Gigawatt Global, co-founded with Chaim Motzen, my partner and friend. I split my time between Jerusalem, where I live, between Boston, where I'm from. I'm glad my congressman is here, Joe. Thank you very, very much. And Africa, where there's 600 million people without power, and we know how to bring power to every single one of them. My wife and I, we have 5 children, 2 of whom are from East Africa, and one who's an AIDS orphan. I don't usually mention that, but walking with you in the hospital today was very moving. And it's because of the American government program that while his biological parents died of HIV, I just want to say thank you for my son and for his life and for enriching our family, and just please do more of it. Please do it. We'll power all the healthcare centers and everything, the refrigeration for, all of that. But thank you, and keep up the amazing work. In Israel, I've built, with my partners David Rosenblatt and Ed Hoffland, 8 commercial-scale solar fields. So that's where we honed our skill set, our risk mitigation strategies, our innovation, some of our idealism, and through Gigawatt Global, we're proud to bring everything that we've learned to Africa. And it makes us a top-tier solar and social development enterprise, and for us it all goes together. JC's here. We tricked you. We told you you're coming to a solar field, but you're actually at an orphan youth village with a commercial scale solar field. And when we get over there for the photos, JC, maybe you'll be able to share a little bit about the orphan youth village, because it's exceptional, totally exceptional. This field before you is the White House's first, and Power Africa's first, proof of concept. It actually means that indeed the United States government and Power Africa can catalyze development in Africa, not just through elections, but through electrons. Its second significance is that the Paris Climate Conference is coming up, and we know what the major issue is between the developing world and the developed world. And so, standing here together, you should be proud that we have developed a third way. With Gigawatt Global, with Scatec, who are our partners, and we've done an amazing historic job, and we'll hear about how quickly and how professionally it was done. We have decoupled GNP growth from emissions growth. And what you heard is that we're at 6% of a country's generation capacity without adding any emissions. It is a false choice. It is a false choice in Paris, and this is the proof text to be able to break that deadlock so that the world can go solar. The conventional wisdom was that conventional power was going to power Africa, and it was going to take many years, if not decades, to do so. And even though Power Africa is literally in its infancy, what we know now and what you see before you is that solar can roll out quickly, full commercial power plants quickly and economically. And Chaim Otzen, my friend and my teacher and my partner, you won't believe his story, and hopefully there'll be time afterwards that when we walk over there you can just ask him how in the world did he pull it off. But quickly and economically is what Africa is looking for. Now if you like what you see, and if you're proud of what you see, and you should be proud, there are 3 things that we're looking for, Senator from Electrify Africa Act, and Carl from Power Africa. So here for the wonks, this is it. Ready? 3 points. 1, utility scale solar in Africa can't scale if OPIC staff won't scale, right? In other words, you have limited staff, so you're going to have limited deal flow. The more staff you have that are processing the deals that we and others are bringing, the more revenue the American government makes. If it was a business, there'd be no question about scaling OPIC so solar in Africa can scale right now. Point number 1. Point number 2. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And also thank you. I'm about to thank you on this thing. Now we work closely, number 2, ASIF. We work closely with OPIC to be able to figure out about financial leverage, a new model of financial engineering so that this and more of these are possible. And so from ASIF and from a sister grant in the US, in Europe called EEP, for every dollar that we received for the planning, for the technical, for the legal, $30 were mobilized from project finance. It is phenomenal leverage. Now ASIF 2 is so necessary. You've got to move that forward. From Nigeria to South Sudan, you're going to get leverage of even $1 to 100 or $1 to 200, particularly in a place like Nigeria. And frankly, you should have one for the West Bank too. Separate issue, but really, really important. It has proven its worth, and you're seeing it today. Please move ASIF forward.
Could you explain what ASIF is a bit more?
The African Clean Energy Fund. Facility, right. I knew it was a fund, right. Facility. And what it is, it's essentially relatively small amount of money that goes towards vendors. I don't want to call it grants. We didn't get a penny of it, but we were able, frankly, the due diligence costs on these buggers is really high. I mean, the people who make money are the lawyers, okay? So somebody has to be able to help us do that.
That's a selling point.
The planning of these fields is very risky. There's more than enough funding out there in the world through OPIC, African Development, and other partners, and you'll see the sign on the way out to be able to acknowledge them. But that first money, that first little money, is where what's called the risk capital, and you've proven it works. So do more of it because it fulfills all of our mission. Number 3, friendly amendment, and I did talk to the senator first before, so I don't want to, is allow us in Israel, please, to train qualified African students and energy entrepreneurs. We have the proximity, we have the innovation, we have the technology and the expertise, and you have a strategic relationship with the state of Israel that can be leveraged to advance U.S. interests in Africa. Closing words. So to effect real change in Africa, to literally bring power to the people, it needs to have the fire of a human rights campaign. I'm turning to you now. So, access to green and affordable power should be elevated to a fundamental human right. It should be recognized and elevated to a fundamental human right. And imagine if we had a theme song. Imagine if we had an anthem to light up the world with that.
One love. Oh no, it's a different. Never mind. Sorry.
I think John Lennon's already got it. It's
Right.
power to the people, right on.
So do a remix.
somebody else wrote
Do a
that.
remix with the. You can use our site, gratis. But remix it, and I think you have a backup singer to do that. We at Gigawatt Global, we're committed through Power Africa to invest another $2 billion by 2020 for 1,000 megawatts. As long as the United States government has our back. We're going into the neediest and therefore riskiest markets. You have our back, we and others